Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, am I audible? Okay. Good afternoon. Can you see the screen? Am I audible? Screen isn't visible. Okay. Now can you see? Okay. So, topic for today is PCV and ESR. So, what is PCV? It is also known as hematocrit. Okay. So, hematocrit is packed cell volume. So, once the blood vial is centrifuged, so there is packing of the red cells because of the close compact arrangement due to the gravitational pull, and you get a column of red cells. Above that you will have a column of your buffy coat which contains the white cells and the platelets, and the topmost layer, that is your plasma layer. So when a sample is centrifuged, these are the layers that we get. Usually it is done in a Wintrobe's tube. So when you will be appearing for exam, you will be having these tubes and pipettes and things which would be kept in your instrumental viva. So you should be able to identify how a Wintrobe tube looks like. Since it is a tube, it will have one end open and the other end it will be closed. Whereas if it will be a pipette, it will be open on both the ends. So now this Wintrobe tube, it is used for the measurement of packed cell volume. It is 110 millimeter long or 11 centimeters, and it has graduated markings from 0 to 10. If we go from bottom to the top, it is 0. On the top, it is 10. Also, it has reverse marking from 0 on the top and 10 at the bottom. So it is ascending and descending order graduation on two sides of the tube. It is thick wall tube and has an internal bore of 3 mm. So the scaling, why it has two sides graduations. If we want to measure the ESR, then we will see the markings of 0 to 10 from above downwards. And if we have to measure the hematocrit, hematocrit measurement will be done 0 to 10 from below to upwards. Okay. So, how do we do the Wintrobe's estimation, PCV estimation by Wintrobe's method? It is a macro method. There is also a micro hematocrit method, which is done by the capillary method. It will not be asked for you in the examination. However, Vintrove method is important. You should be knowing what is the principle of this method. In this, we use the anticoagulated whole blood. Okay, so the anticoagulant used in Vintrove's method is your EDTA. So EDTA is ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. So this is the anticoagulant that we use for Vintrove's method. Now we have taken the whole blood, which is in EDTA purple vial. We centrifuge this vial, centrifuge the sample of blood from this vial in a Vintrove tube. So the centrifugation will completely pack the red cells. Now the volume of these packed red cells, it is read directly from the tube. The red cell column that we get at the bottom of the tube, we just count the reading of that. So the advantage of this macro method is that before performing the packed cell volume, you can also do the erythrocyte sedimentation rate. We will come later to ESR, how it is measured. But in Vintrove's tube, you can do both the ESR as well as PCV. So the anticoagulated blood that we have taken through EDTA vial, it is drawn in a Pasteur pipette. Pasteur pipette is very slender, pipette being open on both the sides. Okay, so this Pasteur pipette will withdraw the sample and then introduce it to the bottom of the Vintrove tube. Now Vintrove tube, you will fill from bottom exactly up to the 100 mark. While filling the tube, you should be careful that the pipette is to be raised, the tip is raised, but it should never come out of the rising meniscus. Otherwise, foaming will appear and you will get an erroneous count. So you should lift the Pasteur pipette, but never take it out completely. Now, in the Vintrove tube, we will centrifuge the sample at 2300 gyrations for 30 minutes. And whenever you are doing the centrifugation, you should be very careful that you have to counterbalance the tube. And so for counterbalancing, we place another Vintrove tube, which is filled with blood from some other patient, or it can be filled with water also. But balancing is important. So once we have centrifuged the balanced tube, then we take the reading of the length of column of red cells. Hematocrit, it can be expressed either as a percentage or as a fraction of the total volume of the blood sample. So Vintrove's tube, we have seen that it is used for estimation of both ESR and PCV. And since we also get the buffy layer, buffy coat is present, so we can, buffy coat, since it is rich in your TLCs and platelets, we can use this buffy coat for preparing smears in cases of leukopenias, suspected leukemias, for finding out LD bodies or other parasites. We look for the buffy coat preparation. Anticoagulant, we have seen that it is EDTA. So, what are the various factors which affect PCV estimation? So, while withdrawing the sample, while we are doing the venipuncture, if the tourniquet is applied for prolonged duration, it will cause hemoconcentration. This hemoconcentration will give you a falsely high hematocrit count. Another is that while squeezing the finger, now this is when we are doing the microhematocrit by the capillary method. In that, it does not require any anticoagulant because it is directly taken from your, the blood sample that we are taking is directly from the skin puncture. Okay, so no anticoagulant is required for the microhematocrit. So if while doing the microhematocrit, we are squeezing the finger excessively, there will be dilution of the sample with the tissue fluid. So that will lower the hematocrit. Hematocrit is your blood cells. So there will be more of the fluid that comes along, and as a result, the RBC's compactness, the number, that will go down. So if we are not using the correct proportion of blood with the anticoagulant, since excessive EDTA, it causes cell shrinkage. So that will give you a false low hematocrit. If there is inadequate mixing of the blood with the anticoagulant and inadequate mixing of blood before testing, they can cause your false results. Also, if a patient has clots So if there are any clots in the sample, that will also give a low hematocrit. If we have centrifuge at a lower speed and for a lesser time, the compactness of the RBC column will be less. As a result, the PCV will falsely increase. Also, there is small amount of plasma which gets trapped in the lower part of the red cell column. It is usually insignificant. However, if there is any degree of anisopoikilocytosis, so the normal shape of the RBC, instead of being biconcave, either it becomes microcytic, macrocytic, spherocytic, or sickle cell. So in all of these conditions, there will be an artifactual rise in the hematocrit because of the trapping of plasma between those red cell column. Okay. And larger volume of plasma is trapped in the Vintrove tube than in the capillary tube. So as PCV, it requires whole blood sample. It is also affected by the plasma volume. So these are all the conditions in which the hematocrit would be falsely high or falsely low. So next, going to the erythrocyte sedimentation rate or ESR. What is ESR? It is the rate at which the RBCs, they fall down, the rate of sedimentation of the red cells. So how does this red cell sedimentation occur? It occurs in 3 stages. In the initial stage, which is for around 10 minutes, there is rouleau formation or also known as the lag phase. In this phase, the RBCs, they stack together as if like a pack of coins. And this is the stage on which the ESR mainly depends, on the first stage. So the rouleau formation, then second stage that we have is sinking of the rouleau or the decantation phase, and it lasts for around 40 minutes. So once the rouleau has formed, the rouleau will sink down, and this is rapid and constant sedimentation. So in this case, if we have a longer tube, the stage will be longer and there will be a higher value of ESR. And the third stage that we have is the packing of the rouleau, so which is again for 10 minutes and it is slow sedimentation. So 10 minutes, 40 minutes and 10 minutes, that will be formation of rouleau, sinking of rouleau and packing of rouleau. These are the 3 stages in which the erythrocyte sedimentation occurs. So whenever you are giving the ESR count for some patient, it is always given at the whatever value that you get, and the endpoint would be at the end of first hour. Okay, so because it counts both all the stages. Okay, 60 minutes duration. So how do we do the ESR estimation? In this, the venous blood, it is collected in trisodium citrate solution. Like we saw in PCV, that was the EDTA anticoagulant that we used. In ESR estimation, we use the trisodium citrate, and we use it in a proportion of 4:1 for blood to citrate. Now, if the sample has been kept out at room temperature, then the test, it should be carried out within 4 hours of blood collection. However, if there is any delay in processing, it can be stored at 4 degrees Celsius, and then up to 6 hours we can do the ESR count. So blood, if it is anticoagulated with EDTA, it can be tested within 24 hours if it is stored at 4 degrees Celsius. But for this EDTA, we need that it should first be diluted with trisodium citrate before testing. Okay. So for ESR estimation, the anticoagulant of choice is trisodium citrate. So for ESR estimation, the method is Westergrens. So Westergrens, this is a pipette. Okay, it is open at both the ends. Now it has graduated markings, and unlike the PCV tube, a Vintrove's tube, it will have markings only in one direction. It will not be a bidirectional graduation. So this Westergren pipette, it is 30 centimeter long and it has an internal diameter of 2.5 mm. It is calibrated from 0 to 200, and this calibration will only be from top to bottom. So it can accommodate around 1 ml of blood sample. However, for placing these pipettes, we need racks, okay, to keep the pipette in a vertical position. The reagent I already told you is sodium citrate 0.015 molar, and it is only used for the estimation of ESR. How do we measure it? We take again the anticoagulated blood sample, we mix it thoroughly, and then the Vestagreen pipette is filled with the blood sample up to the zero mark. Okay. Then a rubber bulb or a mechanical device, it should be used for filling, and there should be no bubbles, air bubbles in the blood sample. The tube then are made to stand vertically and left undisturbed for 1 hour. It should not be kept in direct sunlight and should not be subjected to any vibrations. After 1 hour, we would take the height of the column of plasma above the red cell column in millimeters. Okay. So in PCV, we were reading the red cell column height. However, for ESR, we are reading the plasma column above the red cells. Okay. And the result is taken as whatever value that you find, followed by millimeters in first hour, at the end of first hour. So what are the factors which affect the sedimentation rate? Now, since any two RBCs, they have a zeta potential. A zeta potential is something which would help in the repulsion of the RBCs. So there are factors which increase the ESR, there are factors which decrease the ESR. So old age, pregnancy, and high temperature, tilting of the ESR tube, all of these would cause a false increase in the ESR count. However, if we have increased fibrinogen levels, okay, so increased fibrinogen levels, all of these proteins will try to reduce the zeta potential. When the zeta potential decreases, the repulsion is reduced, and as a result, you will have an increased ESR. Okay, anemia will give a low packed cell volume. However, the ESR would be increased. Then factors which decrease the ESR would be again low fibrinogen levels, polycythemia, because the PCV will be increased, so the ESR will be decreased. If there is marked leukocytosis, then also the plasma volume that will be reduced. And if there is any vibration of the tube during the testing or anything, all these conditions will lead to your falsely reduced ESR count. So that is all for the measurement of packed cell volume and ESR. Any questions in this? We don't keep Vestagreen pipette in sunlight because of high temperature. Yeah, there will be an increase in temperature. It can, all these technical factors, they can cause an increase in the ESR count. Factors affecting ESR slide. Just a second. These are only some of the factors. There are many other conditions in which erythrocyte sedimentation rate it is increased. Okay, so like the physiological state of pregnancy will increase it, but there are many other chronic immune conditions, inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, or if there are any malignancies. So in those conditions, the ESR is persistently raised. Now it is not a very not a very sensitive or very specific test. It can be raised in a multitude of conditions. So it is not used for the diagnosis of any particular condition. It is mainly used for the how the patient is progressing. So if we have, there are conditions like some forms of arteritis, temporal arteritis. In those conditions, ESR is one of the diagnosing factor. However, like if a patient is suffering from tuberculosis, it will give up the follow up how the disease is progressing. Okay. And for neoplastic conditions, metastatic conditions, in all those conditions, ESR would be raised to the tunes of even more than 100. So, raised ESR in an asymptomatic person, if only the test is being done and there are no symptoms in that patient, so not much cognizance is given to whatever value is increased for an ESR, because it will not provide us any further information for the disease etiology that may or may not be present. So, any more questions? Are there any anemias in which the ESR decreases? ESR is found to decrease in microcytosis, so iron deficiencies or thalassemias, owing to the smaller shape, smaller size of the RBCs, the ESR may be decreased. So that is all for today. I hope there is no doubt in identifying the various tube and pipette. So for ESR, we use the term pipette because it is open on both the ends. Okay. Also, you can remember it since Westergren is a long term. So the the pipette for its measurement is long one, and Wintrobe is a smaller one. So we have the Wintrobe tube, which is only 11 centimeters in length. Okay. So this would be the Wintrobe tube again, 0 to 10 from top to bottom for your ESR estimation, and 0 to 10 from bottom to top for your PCV estimation. Anticoagulant used is your EDTA. For ESR, anticoagulant used is trisodium citrate. Okay. We should be knowing what are the various stages of ESR, what are the various layers that you get in the after sedimentation. Okay. All of these are your practical exam questions. So I think it is all clear. We can end it here. Your attendance. Okay.